Hey there, Capricorn. This is your Ascendant forecast taking you from Monday the 15th to Sunday the 21st of December 2025. Now, this is quite an interesting one because we've got a couple of planetary changes. We've also got the new moon in a conjunction with the Galactic Centre. I mean, that means it is aligned to the centre of our galaxy. And we're also going into a whole new season. So we've got this move from Sagittarius into the sign of Capricorn, which is, of course, where your ascendant or rising sign is. So this is really marking a new change for you. Also, added into this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 exact squares in this week ahead, and also a T-square from Mercury to the North and South node. Now, out of these squares, 2 of them are to Saturn, which is your ruling planet. So this is a time where we're being really tested, or you're being tested, sorry, to refine and come out of your limitations. So, yeah, I think this is a transformational week. And I think it's one that's really working on your unconscious mind over the week ahead, so that as we go into this new season, which if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you'll be going into winter. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're going to be going into summer. This new season that's coming up on the 21st is going to get off to a great new start. So if you're new to this channel, my name's Louisa. Welcome to Feel Good Astrology. As ever, I'm going to bring up my slides, and I always like to just have a quick shout out and say thank you to the people who support my channel. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. So I've got these 2 charts, and I'm using a Western whole sign tropical model for this. What that means is I've got one zodiac sign in each house. Now, and these are the houses, all these sections here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., all the way around to 12. Now, if you've got the symbol for Capricorn and also the symbol for Aquarius in this first house, then it also means that the Aquarius forecast will be useful to you. So maybe have a listen to that as well if that applies to you. So the first chart is this one. And you can see the moon is just in Libra, and it's about to go into the sign of Capricorn, into the sign of Scorpio. You'll also see that we've got 4 planets poised in the sign of Sagittarius in your 12th house. By the end of the week, the moon has gone from Libra through into your own sign. And we've now got the Sun and Mars in your first house in the sign of Capricorn. So it's a really interesting week. You know, the 12th house energy is really strong. It's interesting as well because the new moon that's happening on the 20th is happening right before the changeover into Capricorn. It's in the 12th house. The 12th house is all about everything that's private, secret, unconscious. You know, this is a place where your stories start to dissolve and fall away, like you're letting go of your identity. You know, it's almost like this is the start of the story, the first house, and this is where you're going to be going after this. And, you know, over the course of the year, we go all the way around the zodiac. And then when we get to this point, the 12th house, this is where the story starts to collapse and fall apart. So in this week ahead, I do see that there's a lot of collapse, you know, all the internal stories of held your reality in the way that it is. Anything that's not there for you now, that's not meant to be part of your reality, it's going to start dropping away. And I'm going to run you through how I think that might happen. So as you can see, these are all the different things I see in the week ahead. You'll also notice that between the 20th and the 21st, there's a lot going on. And in fact, I just want to add in a couple of extra ones. If you've been listening to anything about 3i Atlas, which appears to be traveling through our part of space right now in our solar system, on the 19th, it's going to be its closest to us that it's ever been. And so it's going to be exerting an influence over us. It's going to be in the constellation of Virgo. It's going to be in the sign of Virgo, but really, really close to us. Then we've got the new moon in Sagittarius in a conjunction to the Galactic Centre. So there's some sort of intergalactic energy going on, you know, that's bringing a different kind of consciousness to us as we're getting ready to go into this new season. I don't think this is to be ignored. I think this is a sign that something new, some very fresh consciousness is coming in right now. And given that this 12th house has a lot to do with the unconscious mind and the consciousness that is readily available to us if we were only just to tune into it, I just think that's significant. Also, the moon right now is in its waning moon phase, meaning that it's the light is disappearing, the moon is appearing to get smaller and smaller right now. To me, this is an indication that this is a time for us to tune in more and more to our intuition, for us to find out our own answers, for us to let go of everything that's not right for us, to slim everything down, neaten and tidy everything up so that we really get a fresh new start soon. And of course, this new start is just before everything starts moving into your first house, which is all about your reinvention and kind of rebirthing. So I think this is very poignant. I think if in this week ahead, if you could set aside some time to really plan in that sort of Capricornian way, all the things that you're planning for, let the things you're not planning for drop out of your awareness and start planning in your mind what feels like it's for you. And I think that's, one of the ways forwards. So anyway, on Monday the 15th, the moon comes into the sign of Scorpio, and Mars crosses over into your first house. This is a real time when you start to feel like you're waking up and you're getting stronger in your body. That feels really good. Mars coming into the first house really shows where we're starting to put in some boundaries. And to me, that's an indication that we're coming into our health. We're coming back into our energy. We're starting to feel stronger and more strident. A lot more determination is existing for you right now. So it's great. And then with the moon in the 11th house, it also feels quite social. It feels like you've got a lot of social capital between Monday and Wednesday. It feels like there's a lot of potential to connect with people and to share with them your very direct and clear thoughts about yourself. So I think this is helpful. Now on Wednesday, the 17th, we've got the first of one of our exact squares. And this is going from your 12th house into Saturn in your third house. So the sun is about, a part of your unconscious mind and how you see maybe your frailty, maybe how you see some of your insecurities and some of your fears, how you identify with them, are at odds with Saturn in the third house. Now, Saturn in the third house is trying to build community. You're building strength between you and other people. You might be trying to feel a sense of belonging and building as much belonging into your life as possible. It's quite a busy time. And to me, it feels like you're establishing a very strong local social network and a strong sense of this is what we all know and this is what we're all sharing as our knowledge. And so there is this sense of grouping. And anywhere in your unconscious mind where it doesn't feel safe or easy or right to connect with people at a very strong level and in a very regular way, I think that's going to create a tension for you. So you might want to consider what it is about that might feel a bit difficult. Also, on Wednesday, the 17th, the moon comes into the sign of Sagittarius. Now, this is a very intuitive time, and you're really considering your intuitive truth, I think is really important. It feels like you're getting deep into your truth as much as possible. And then on Thursday, the 18th, we've got this lovely aspect between Venus and Chiron, beautiful trine, again from the 12th house, and this time landing in the 4th house. Now, to me, this is just saying that, whatever you, however you've like loved and lost and all of those programs that you've picked up about loving others, it's now healing, but it's healing at a real family level. And of course, at a family level, when we are healed, we get a sense of belonging mostly. And so it's interesting that we might fear belonging in a very organized way and at the same time feel healed by a sense of belonging at a familial way. So to me, what's really apparent is that there is an awareness of belonging and the insecurities that it can bring up, and also the potential of good that it can do in your life. And so that's an interesting thing to consider. And then as we're coming closer to the new moon in Sagittarius conjunct the Galactic Centre, I think you're going to be connecting into that galactic belonging, that feeling of I belong to source, I belong to God, I belong to the universe, I belong to the world, I belong to the stars, that feeling of utter connection. And maybe that's what you might intend for. But everything to do with belonging and working out, is it great? Is it not great? How do you integrate belonging in your life? I think that's a really big theme for you. And also, I think your intuitive mind is just going to explode. Not explode, but your potential to be intuitive and make it work for you, I think, is going to get exponentially better. And then we're into the 20th, also on the 20th, straight after the moon heads into Capricorn. And it feels like whatever you've learned about yourself, you're wanting to integrate and communicate with people. Mercury is also, I'll just change my chart so you can see it better. By this point, Mercury is in a T-square with the South Node and also the North Node down here, again in the 3rd house, to do with community, belonging, and that shared knowledge and that shared connection. And so again, there's another challenge this time. Maybe, have you got any fears about expressing yourself within the group? And if so, what does that bring up? How does that influence you to do with belonging? Because I think you're quite well practiced at, talking about things from a higher perspective anywhere to anyone. But isn't it interesting that when it's high stakes with people that could disapprove of you and create a social disconnect, I think it's a bit more challenging. And so, yeah, that's also coming up. And then we've got these 3 exact squares on Sunday, the 21st. So we've got the sun in an exact square to Neptune. Again, it's really highlighting everything that prevents you from feeling that connection to all that is. And anywhere where you don't know where you stand in your community, I think that's a really big, it could open you up to discomfort, but it's there to be thought about, considered, and for you to get a bit clearer about. I sometimes think these sun square Neptunes are confusing. You kind of lose track of what it is you're working towards or who you are. There's it almost prevents you from really feeling into your identity. These are going to pass quite quickly, by the way. Then we got Venus in a square to Saturn. So this is the 2nd square to Saturn this week. Again, it's coming from the 12th house. So this is your programming about love and connection and how it feels slightly thwarted in terms of how you connect to the overall community, how you feel that sense of big belonging to the world. So you could say this is, how do I belong in consciousness? How do I belong to the universe and at the same time belong to the collective here on Earth? And it just feels like there's some tension there. And then the final square that we're looking at in this week ahead would be the Jupiter square Chiron. Again, there's something to do with belonging and people. Jupiter in the 7th is showing that really this is a time to be optimistic about people in the world and people in your life. It's time to expand. And yet there are some old lessons from home that maybe have taught you that it's not safe to expand your heart and open yourself up. And so I do think this whole week, really, from start to finish, has a lot to do with your sense of ease and comfort about belonging versus not belonging, and also how you can go deeper into your relationships. So if I was in your shoes, I think I would be really considering a lovely intention to hold around the time of the new moon in Sagittarius that gives you freedom on this, that allows you to tune into everything that feels free and aligned to you, feeling that sense of I am completely good enough with the world. And then after that, obviously, the sun comes into Capricorn and then things start to really move forwards. I mean, this is your time of year from the December solstice all of a sudden everything starts to kick in. And to me, this is the actual start of your new year. Each time we get to this winter or summer solstice, according to where you are in the world. So there's a very, very strong theme here. And, you know, when we go back to that Sagittarius moment, which really speaks of dreams and this desire to understand truth at a very expanded level where you can kind of let go of all sorts of things. By the time everything moves into the sign of Capricorn, it's time to build the reality that you really do want to see. So I think this is a very exciting time for you. And I hope you found this useful. A couple of other bits of information. Lilith is going into the sign of Sagittarius on the 20th as well. And so this is really opening your unconscious mind up to speak. You know, Lilith really shows where we felt restricted in like restricted in our voice. And so I do think lots of anywhere where you felt hidden in your persona and possibly shut down, that's going to be also awakening at the same time. So you are coming into a time when you're really going to know what your unconscious mind is saying to you. It's like your unconscious mind and your conscious awareness are going to come into a much better alignment. So interesting times indeed. So I hope that was helpful for you. And, you know, if you like the way I talk about astrology and you would like some more, I've opened up my community for free. So I've been building it over the last 9 months or so. And now I just really want to open it up so everyone can have extra forecasts if they want. So I put forecasts into the school community. Every week there's career, money and ambition forecast for all 12 signs. Also relationship and connection forecast for all 12 signs. Also Monday to Friday forecast. It's all there. All you have to do is go to www.school, that's skool.com/feelgoodastrology. Or you can even scan this QR code just above my head and it will take you straight there. Also, if you want to learn astrology and learn to go deeper and be able to talk about your chart and understand it from a really sort of deep and intimate level, then join one of my classes from January the 6th next year. I'm going to be teaching 3 courses, 3 terms. And also there's going to be a summer school as well. So we're going to really explore a lot of stuff together. Anyway, have a great week and catch up with you real soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.